Hi, my name is Beth Burgess from Smiles Life and Recovery Coaching, and we're just going to talk today about doing the right thing, because actually doing the right thing all the time is one of the keys to happiness. If you can live by your values and by your integrity, you've actually got a really good chance of being happy. If you do this on a day-to-day basis, you're likely to end up happier than most people. So I'm just going to run through a list of behavioural checks. If you're ever not sure about what to do in a situation, you're not sure if you're doing the right thing, here's some questions I want you to ask yourself, okay? So, firstly, does this behaviour adhere to your values? Right, because when we drift away from what really matters to us, when we drift away from our values, that's when we start being unhappy. When we do things which aren't really in line with what we're all about. So firstly, does it adhere to your values? So second question, could this behaviour lead on to undesirable behaviours and situations? This is a really important question. Obviously, given my past, I was an alcoholic. Well, I still am, I just don't drink anymore. And I found that really difficult to ever ask that question in my life. I was a completely short-term thinker. And that led to so much unhappiness, because actually, even the initial things that I did, so maybe I would go, you know what, I'm upset today, I'll just drink. And that was all very well and good, but all the secondary stuff that came out of that, the embarrassment, the shame, the guilt, was not good at all. So actually, I was kind of, setting myself up for unhappiness just by not asking myself that question. You'll be glad to know I ask myself this question a lot now. Okay, so the third question, will this behaviour bring me closer to my goals? Now this is, again, about changing your short-term thinking maybe into longer-term thinking. So, is this going to serve you in actually achieving what you want to do? So a lot of us behave in, a lot of people behave in short-term ways. We get angry, we get, we have negative emotions, and we kind of act on them a lot of the time. But really, you need to stop and ask yourself, is this going to get me ultimately what I want? So if your goal is to get on with people, for example, even if they're irritating you, is it going to serve you to start shouting? It's not. So again, look at what your goals are, and whether this will actually get you there. So the fourth question, is this behaviour kind to yourself and to other people? Now, we all generally want to live our lives in a way which won't hurt other people and is kind of nice. But we often miss out on that sort of, that kindness to ourselves. And it's not actually what people think it is. So, for example, say you were on a diet or something. People tend to think, oh, maybe, if you're craving some sugar, you think, oh, I'll be kind to himself and have, just a biscuit. But actually, that's kind of look at it in the wrong way, because again, you need to look at the secondary effects of that behaviour and what that will be. So, for example, for me, for example, if I had said to myself, I'm not eating sugar, and one day I felt really, really craving, and I thought, oh, you know what, I'll just have a bit. That's actually not kind behaviour, because I know what I'm like, and one biscuit is non-existent in my world. It's always 3 packets. And also I have a blood sugar issue, so actually it's not kind to myself. I also know the way that I would feel afterwards. I felt like I'd failed in some way at sticking to what my plan was. So some of the things which we think are being kind are actually just indulging. And actually the kind thing to do is look again at the long term of the effect it will have on you, not in that moment, but afterwards, how you'll feel about yourself, how you'll feel about the behaviour after you've done it. So that's a really important behavioural question as well. And this is the final one, and this is a really important thing in whether you're doing the right thing or not. Now, people in life tend to be happiest if they have quite a solid sense of self-esteem. So, ask yourself the question, is this behaviour going to build my self-esteem or actually destroy it? Low self-esteem leads to all sorts of problems. It's a major factor in things like depression, in addiction, anxiety, Low self-esteem is if you have it, it's a bit of a curse. So you really need to ask yourself, is this going to help me in the long term to actually build my sense of self, my pride in myself, my sense of worth? If it's not going to do that, then you don't want to do it. Again, it's about looking at the long-term things. Sometimes things are, they're easier. It's easier to do something that's like a short-term solution. But actually, if it's going to overall impact on how you feel about yourself, then it's always best not to do it if it's going to, negatively impact.